Hi, my name is Lisa. Welcome to One Lisa Show. This past year, there have been a handful of makes that were epic fails. Now, let me sit back and tell you. Let me say, I wear all of my makes. Some things did not turn out quite as expected, and that's what they're on this video today. They are called my fails. I'm going to tell you how I fixed them and what I learned from them. So this is very important stuff. The second make I made, and we're not talking, this is past masks, when I started making garments this past year, was this blouse, and it was about a year ago, and it was the Butterick B6563. It's a pattern by Gertie, and it is basically a cute button-down blouse, and it has different variations of sleeves and collars. It does feature darts, buttons, pocket or no pocket, different types of collars. And if you want a puff sleeve or a cap sleeve or sleeveless, I made this version right here. I'm wearing that today. This pattern, I love a shirt like this, by the way. That's why I picked out this pattern. This was some 20-year-old fabric that I had in a Rubbermaid tote that I probably got at Walmart in the 90s. And it has a Little House on the Prairie vibe, but I used this because I wanted to practice before I made one. And now I know that's called I wanted to toilet or make a muslin. This is that version. I made the size 20, which was way too big. I will show you the back of this. I know I've talked about this pattern a lot. Anyway, since it was scrap fabric, and I had plenty of this scrap fabric, I made the size 20 based on my measurements, which was a 42-inch bust and a 34-inch waist. And the 18 was a 40 bust and a 32 waist, which I knew the 32 waist was going to be way too small, so I did it more similar to my bust size. And it was too big. Finished measurements on this Butterick pattern had the width, but I didn't take that into consideration. This was the second item I made. So the fails of this is it was too big. As I made it, I realized it was too big. The sleeves are cap sleeves, and they sit right at the edge of my shoulder. This one actually sits down a little bit. This one kind of, there's right on the thing. So that I don't like. I went in and did a higher seam allowance because I didn't know how to fix anything, and I still don't know how to fix a lot. It is way too wide, so this is me modeling it. And the collar is a Peter Pan collar. It just doesn't sit quite right. I still wear this. I wore this during the winter with a sweat cardigan over it. Just fine. On my own, I don't feel it. After I did make it, I actually did, like I said, I came in and did the sleeves, a deeper seam allowance for the sleeves, and I also went in along the side seams as well. I did not know how to stitch in the ditch, so I hand stitched the back of the collar to the shirt. I'm not a fan of how it sits. Like there's a little kink right here, that collar, and it kind of sits up high because it is so oversized on me. So lessons I did learn. I have since remade this in a smaller size, and it fits amazing, and I wear it probably every week for work. I also lengthened the hem on it slightly, and I'll make more of these because this is a style shirt I do enjoy wearing, and I had a huge collection from like Kohl's and JCPenney previously that were just kind of getting worn and stained. So I wanted to make some my own. The other thing I learned on this, besides the buttonholes, is this facing piece. I think for future ones, I will probably stitch to hold that facing in. This one didn't have it in the instructions. I don't remember them saying it now that I've made this twice to do so, but I think it gives it a neater finish to have that. The darts were absolutely easy and I enjoyed doing those. Since then I have made the 18 and it fits very well. Now let me show you my very first make that I was so proud of, and it needed so many corrections. And the quick story behind this is, as I was thinking about sewing again and I wanted to make a skirt, I found a skirt pattern I really liked, and that was Simplicity 8019. It's a 1970s vintage skirt, and I really wanted to make a button-down skirt, so I chose to do something that was knee length. And I can't remember if I did this one or this one, but I wanted to do this. So I searched this pattern number to look for some reviews, and that's where I found Sewing Pattern Review, and I found the Pattern Pals on YouTube. The Pattern Pals on YouTube are a group of 3 women. They all have different body styles, body shapes, and different styles in fashion. And every month they did a video where they would all make the same pattern, maybe a different version, but the same pattern in whatever fabric they chose, whatever version they wanted. And then they would come back, show their makes, and review the pattern. I loved this show. They're not making Pattern Pals videos anymore. And I have reached out to, I think, one of the women and said, please make more. And they said, no, it's not happening anytime soon. That was during COVID. Regardless, I watched their video, then I binged all their other videos. Very helpful. And decided to make this. Simplicity 8019. I think I made the correct size. But let me show you my make again. This was my very first make. I made this skirt, which I have worn and I'm shown on here. I'm very proud of it. This also was fabric I purchased with the intentions to make something and never did. Here's where I went awry. I think the size was right, but I may have cut the wrong size waistband piece because it did not fit. And I still don't know today where I went wrong with that, but the waistbands did not fit to the actual skirt. Somewhere I went wrong. So what I did was I elongated the waistband, added extra fabric to it, and then I got it to fit and finished the skirt and realized it was too wide for my waist. So then I went back in, I cut the fabric on the inside of the waistband. You can actually see where some elastic is hanging out. I inserted elastic around the waistband and then I tacked it in, and that's why on this side there's some stitching in these spots because that's holding in the elastic. The other thing I didn't like, it irks me on this one, is I didn't line up my waistband correctly, as you can see. Not lined up so well, didn't do that great of a job, but it was my very first time with buttons and buttonholes, and I am very proud of that. I do wear this skirt, I wear it to work. I usually wear a top that kind of covers the waistband, and I'll insert a picture of me wearing this. So some of the things, I still wear it, I love it. I actually get compliments on this skirt because it's such a bright, vibrant print. It's just quilting cotton. Would I make this pattern again? I have saved this pattern. Absolutely, I will make it again. And I will, maybe a second time, reviewing and looking back where I went wrong, I might figure it out and it might actually turn out a little better. I think I might even be up right now for like a longer version. It's tough because I have a very short frame. I'm 5'2". On a good day, I'm 5'3" when my posture's right. But because of that, I'm always nervous about very long dresses and skirts. I think this is a very cute skirt overall. I do love the shaping of it, and I will make it again. Fail number 3. I don't have the pattern anymore to actually show or reference back to. But my fail number 3 was a pair of pajama pants. I bought some flannel fabric from Joann's with the intention to make pajama pants. It was getting colder out. These are them. When I bought the flannel fabric with the intention to make pajama pants, Joann's actually had a bunch of old patterns, and if you bought fabric that day, you got a pattern for free for every cut of fabric you bought. So I found a pattern for pajama pants. I can't remember. It was definitely a big 4 if it was McCall's or Simplicity. For some reason, I'm thinking it was McCall's, because I remember what the pattern envelope looked like. And I think it was an easy to sew beginner pattern, and I believe it was McCall's. It was a knit top and pajama pants for women. Again, I mismeasured. My Big Daddy, my boyfriend, calls these the clown pants. I wear these all the time. So I don't remember what size I made, but again, I went with my measurements, and there was limited finished measurements on the package. So I made the size I thought I was, and cutting it out, I knew it looked way too big. Cutting it out, it looked way too big. These are so big on me. I went in to every seam and went in again more. I think another 1/4 inch, and I would do it every 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, and then I gave up. They're balloony. They have a huge, I'll show you. I'll insert a picture of me wearing these. They're massive. The waistband, I didn't have the size elastic they required, so my waistband didn't match up right. So you can see my waistband's not bad, but then there's extra stitching to hold my actual elastic in. I kept going in and going back in, so where I had finished a seam suddenly became unfinished. They're very comfy. They're very big. They're very baggy. They're kind of like MC Hammer pants. And I still wear them. They are a little short on me, which doesn't make sense because most things are too long. Somewhere along the way, I messed up on these. These were an epic fail, but I still wear them. My boyfriend hates them. And lesson learned on this one, I decided to purchase the Closet Core Patterns Carolyn pajamas. I have mentioned it many times on. I measured myself. I made a version. I read all the reviews. I watched YouTube videos of other makers making the Closet Core Carolyn pajamas. Fell in love with that style of pajama. Very similar to something I already owned. And I have since made many. I have made the shorts. I have made the pants. I have made pants for my mom. I have made the top. I love those. What I learned is I researched something I wanted to make, found a pattern that had very high marks and reviews, watched videos on it, and then made it. And I love that pattern. That is now my pajama staple. So this pattern, I don't have it anymore because I threw it in the bin. It went in the garbage because it was awful. Now this next pattern is not necessarily a fail per se, but it is probably the worst bra I have made yet. This was also my very first bra that I made. I'm not going to show a picture of me modeling it, but I will say in October I decided I wanted to make myself a bra, and it was my birthday, and I bought myself a bra maker kit from Tailor Made Supplies, and I purchased the Marlboro bra pattern by Orange Lingerie. It had very good remarks, very good reviews, and this is my first bra. And you might say, well, it looks pretty good, Lisa. Yes, it does look pretty good. I watched Liz So's videos on making this bra umpteen times. I watched her making the bra step by step as I was making this bra. And my biggest fails in this one, I measured okay, but you can see there's like little spots, and I'm going to show you. Also, this is microduplex, which isn't the easiest fabric to sew with. But you can see I had like a pucker here. My stitching is not perfect, as I'll show you there. Another pucker over here. And for some reason, it was too tight. Here's the back. So here's my back band. You can see my stitching is not perfect, but it was too tight. So I went in and put some extra microduplex here and tried to make it decorative. This was my fix, and extend it by then extra like 1/4 inch on each side, just so I had just a little bit more breathing room. And you can also see over here where I had like a little pucker again. Overall, I wear this bra every week. I love this bra. Oh, and then the cups. I did not line this bra because it was my very first bra. So looking back, this is an unlined bra. But the cups, the girls kind of sit a little uneven. They both fit in theirs, but one's kind of pointing one way and the other one's going straight. So there's a little bit of a fit issue with it, but I still wear it. I wear it under a sweatshirt. I wear it under, you know, something that's a little more baggy and less fitted. Some of the stitching looks excellent, and then there's other parts where it's just not perfect. And I could have easily remedied all of that and unpicked and restitched. But I didn't. It was my very first go at making a bra. And some people are overwhelmed by making bras or think, why? There is definitely a massive satisfaction when you make your own homemade bra. And this one was my first, and I think it still looks pretty cool. That's my opinion. And since then, I've made lots of this Marlboro pattern by Orange Lingerie, and I've since purchased another pattern by Orange Lingerie as well, and we'll probably make another different bra down the road. But this is now my go-to bra, my favorite bra to make. Yeah, so it was a fail, but it was not really a fail because it was a learning experience. I knew it was my first time doing something. This was a practice round. I think where I failed is I used my very pretty kit fabric for my first bra when I probably should have gone to Joann's and just bought some very cheap fabric just to get the fit right. At that point, then I would have known that this needed to be just a little longer. Each of these back pieces needed to be just that much longer to fit me comfortably and not be too tight around my back. This is a long video and I apologize, but here's my final fail. My final fail is a free pattern that I will make again, and I will get this one right. This is my most recent fail. It is the Pattern Scissors Cloth Galaxy t-shirt. So I'm going to show you this. I even have my notes written up there, as you can tell. So again, the most common fail I have is I made the size too big. This was a pattern where I read the reviews. I watched Sewing Bunny on YouTube. She made this and it looked so cute and I wanted to make it. I did make it. I read reviews and a lot of them said, it's a little big. Yet, guess what I did? I did the size I thought I should do and it was a little big. So here is my version. Oh, this is not a stain. This is a wet spot because I was going to wear this today. So I still wear all my makes. I was going to wear this today and I spilled my water on it. So this was made in an ITY silky knit. Here's where I failed. It is probably 2 sizes too big for the fabric. It is an ITY slinky knit, and I've never worked with an ITY slinky knit before. That was where my fail is. It probably needed a heavier fabric for the gathers, a heavier knit fabric, something with a little more structure for the gathers to really keep that gathered look, that puff. And since I had never worked with an ITY, a silky knit, I had a problem with my seams, and I don't know if you can see right along here, we have some puckers, gathers. It just kind of looks funny. That's how it looks when I'm wearing it. And I'm going to go to the other side seam. It's a little bit more pronounced. So you can see. I don't know how to work with an ITY, a very thin drapey fabric. This fabric is also slightly see-through. The other part that I think I failed on is I wasn't quite happy with the neckline on this one, and I think it is due to the fabric and not necessarily, it's just too thin of a fabric for this pattern. But I have a little tunneling at my hem. This is the fail that I least wear. This shirt is just big. I went in again and went down the seams on the sides trying to get it to fit right. I have realized I could take it all apart, cut it 2 sizes smaller and re-sew it, but that's not going to be probably what I'm going to do. More than likely, it will eventually go to Goodwill. I like this pattern though, and I like the look of the finished product. I have plans to make more of these and to get it right. So I do have some clearance jersey I got from Walmart that will be my practice fabric. It was $3 for 1.5 yards of cotton jersey. So it is a little bit more of a fabric that I'm used to using, a little more structured compared to this slinky knit. And if anyone has any hints for me on how to work with this very thin drapey, because I have a lot more of this and I think in another color as well, let me know. I don't want to unpick all of it because I think there were some tension issues with my machine, obviously with the seams and if I used the wrong stitch. It was probably a pretty even zigzag. Maybe it needed to be more of a elongated, like a lightning stitch. I don't have that function on my sewing machine, but I could do a long zigzag that's similar, more closer to a straight line, and see how that turns out. But yeah, this is my most frustrating fail because this is the last one I did that's a fail. It's the most recent make I've had, and I'm just not as happy with it. So I don't see myself wearing it. Right now I have to wear a camisole under it because it's such a sheer thin knit fabric. It does show everything. Those are my fails. The lessons I learned: read your reviews, watch videos if you really want to make something, use scrap fabric or bed sheets or cheap fabric, and do a fitting version first and make sure you understand the instructions. Like in the case of this one, I didn't even understand half the stuff I read. And be able to think, how can I still make this work if it doesn't work completely right? Be up for the challenge. These are all the lessons I learned. I hope you found this video slightly useful. If you did, please give me a like or consider subscribing. I have a goal to have 1,000 subscribers by August, and right now I'm at the point where I'm wondering if that's possible, but it is. Anything is possible with the help of you. If you like my content and you want to see more pattern reviews or my Friday Sews videos, please subscribe. That would make my day. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you found the video useful, and I look forward to chatting again soon. Bye-bye.